Hi, Shubhinder. How are you?
I'm good, Alex. How are you doing?
Fine. I'm excited that we come up with a nice theme of serving businesses with AI solutions. And as I know that you invested a lot of your time and your resources into learning and practicing in AI space, and I have known you for almost half a year. Could you tell me about how do you approach AI solutions for outreach?
Yeah. I mean, you said half a year. That's super fast and it's gone really quick. And I was just thinking about it today that, you know what, a year ago I was like, starting the journey. So yeah, time moves really fast, first of all. But yeah, thank you for having me. I've been on this journey, building my agency, working with clients, working on developing various different types of AI solutions, from inbound to outbound to, from the lead generation side to the operation side. And I think there's various, but I understand we're going to be talking about the inbound and outbound systems today.
Maybe somebody doesn't know about what is difference between outbound and inbound, and what is the meaning of these systems. So as far as I understand, both systems are targeted at getting new clients, right?
Yep. Absolutely. That's exactly the thing. Like, it's all about, for a business to receive the clientele and be able to outreach to them, be able to qualify those leads, and then be able to present to them and close that deal so that they can fulfill. And I guess what I've learned through the last, working in different businesses as a software developer, starting my own agency, but now also working and building new relationships with a lot of business owners, I realized that, inbound and outbound systems are quite important. I think outbound at the moment, usually in most of the businesses, is the dominant one. But as we're seeing, in the internet era, the AI space, inbound is picking up quite a bit. But equally, I think outbound is a very important system that businesses can enhance and, build those systems to be more bulletproof as well, more personalized. So I'll define what outbound and inbound is. So outbound is when a business reaches out to their potential clients, either through email, LinkedIn, via sales, just having a call, just any outbound conversation, just picking up the phone and saying, this is what we offer, and, this is who would you like our solutions. Whereas the inbound systems, they're more like, if you've got any marketing systems like LinkedIn, where you post, or YouTube, where you post about your offer, about what you do. So if you're, let's say, a company that sells lamps, your outbound would be to pick up the call and say, we sell lamps. Whereas in an inbound, you would talk about selling lamps and market them, and then put promotions up, and then your customers will find you. So you're increasing your discoverability, and you're also increasing your visibility of your offer and your product out in the market. But outbound usually works to build that business development pipeline. So we're going to talk about outbound today.
Yeah, thank you, Shubs. So, but for the outbound, as far as I understand, for the beginning, to increase the chance of the prospect to reply positively, to react to your offer, the right time is not only the type of person that you are targeting, but let's start with intent. So I think that the right time, the right moment in time that the people are ready for your offer is as crucial as the person who will receive it. So how do you structure, how can we find those signals when the person needs our offer the most?
So absolutely. So as I mentioned earlier, a lot of business takes place on the internet these days, through social media, because it's, you can discover new clients, you can find more leads via these different platforms, and there's an increasing digital presence for a lot of businesses that is becoming more prolific on the internet. And a lot of people, just like how when initially the internet came, everyone needed a website. Now the digital footprint is increasing towards other platforms like LinkedIn, YouTube, and just having more, and within the AI age, having more of that digital footprint for a business becomes even more crucial, because as you have these AI systems discover different businesses, those larger someone's digital footprint is, it will become more relevant. Now, through having this digital footprint and having higher discoverability shows higher intention as well, because every time, for example, let's say I'm a lamp company and I have grown to 100,000 users, there'll be things that I'll be doing to find who my ideal client is. So my ICP, so who potentially would want to buy lamps. And that could be, a large warehouse or a large retailer that is basically trying to buy lamps and trying to sell those. That's one intention. So they'll put some posts up on social media showing that we would want to buy lamps. And for the lamp company, the lamp manufacturing company, they would probably find these, either they'll go to these companies directly or find them on social media and find their digital presence. That'll be one intention, because they are constantly buying. Whereas someone who's like a new homeowner, they would probably want to buy lamps, different styles. Again, lamp is a very small example, very easy example, but the type of audience you can sell to varies, right? The new time buyers or new housing development. So a lot of development that's taking place in different countries, if they are building apartments, for example, and that one apartment complex has many apartments within it, like hundreds of apartments. Now every apartment would need some form of lamps, some form of lampshades, just many things. So just knowing that there's a new development happening in an area is an intent in itself. So how do you find that intent now? You go onto social media for that company who's doing the development. They'll put out brochures because they also want to sell their apartments to their customers. So they'll put brochures up, they will put marketing material, they put social media posts, and that in itself is the discoverability for a lamp company to find that this development company that is building these new apartments. And in the middle, there's a system that allows the lamp company to actually scrape the internet, find the relevant vendors or companies that are looking for lamps, and then for the lamp company to pitch to them. Whereas rather than a lamp company sending emails to almost everyone and then expecting no results, because you're not quite hyper targeting it, you're just blasting emails. So it's like, if you think that everyone is your customer, everyone is your market, then you don't have a market. So you have to find that niche. So that is a good way to break down the signal from the noise, defining the ICP, your ideal client profile, but then scraping the internet to find those potential opportunities before even sending out communication.
Yeah, that's a lot of important points that you mentioned, Shubs. Let us dive a little bit more into this.
Yeah.
As I understand that there are tools that do something like this, and some of them include Apollo paid plans, and some of them include a Clay system that many consider quite expensive. So, and there are also systems that help to scrape like Apify, but they need technical understanding, knowledge, and a lot of filtering where you should, frankly, I'm not proficient in this, so maybe you can give me a glimpse of how to really, what tools can you use to find these companies, and then to actually scrape this every day or every week, and how do you get this information, really?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the biggest thing is to start off with defining the ICP really clearly. So this is what we do in our agency, and I've worked with a couple of companies as well, building this exact same company. One has been for a video game company, one has been for a custom sportswear company that is trying to find that signal. So now I saw this as a as a specific example where they're just sending out these messages to almost, they found a very generalized niche and they're just blasting these emails to everyone. But what we do is we work with the clients to define the ICP, figure out their market. So this is an iterative approach. This is an iterative a process to actually find the ICP, then find the solution. I think this is why it's quite important for us as agency owners to actually come into this place and work with these businesses, because it's not a one-time, one-size-fits-all solution. It almost requires a bespoke understanding of the industry. We work with the business owners because they understand, where the potential signal lies, but it's a lot of manual process for them to actually go through the internet, find those companies, look at the recent posts. And to be honest, either you're selling lamps or either you're trying to find your clients, and it becomes quite hard to do both of them at the same time because you need to increase your team size. This is probably painting the picture a little bit. So now going into the system in itself, this is an automated system. So as we work through the ICP ideal client profile for the business, we are able to understand, if it's a lamp company, who their customers are, who their potential clients have been. So scanning through the existing clientele and then looking at further opportunities. So that could be through using, we could use Apify. We have used Apify in the past for Apollo scraping, for example, to get a full list of leads and then be able to filter out the intention from there. But then also, once you have collected this and you've collected information, let's say about 100 companies, and every company has that digital footprint that we spoke about initially. For example, the social media, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. Now the system will scan through the list of it once you've collected it from Apollo using Apify and you've got that list. Then the system will then sequentially go through each row and it will visit the pages, a LinkedIn page, which is publicly available. It will visit an Instagram page and be able to find relevant information about that company and then filter and qualify or disqualify which company is more likely to buy from a lamp company. For example, I'll keep on using the lamp base, just easy. So you could use Firecrawl to actually scrape through various social media posts, combining that with Apify, Apollo, and then Firecrawl to scrape, and then an intense signaling scoring engine that is built with an NAN. Of course, I think it would be worth creating just a flow diagram and adding that to this as a video, but that would be the best way to actually then filter down and score every single lead. Because if you've got a very big list, you still want to narrow down, who is potentially the best person to buy. So that in itself is called hyper targeting, where you're really targeting and really honing down who you're trying to sell, because not everyone is your market. So you want to niche down and focus on the potential buyers. And this is how you can actually get a lot of volume, but then through filtering it down using our system, you can filter down and figure out exactly who you want to target. And that, as I mentioned earlier, through crawling someone's social media post, you can automatically find, okay, if a big company is creating a opportunity and they're building new apartments, that is the best person you want to reach out to. And then further crawling through maybe some of their LinkedIn to figure out who is the best decision maker in that company now that you can actually target and reach out to and send an email to them. So the reason why we're doing this is to basically personalize, but then also resonate with the clientele better.
Thank you, Shubs. I think that the next question that comes to my mind is, even if the person is interested and has good intent, but many people still, they think that they will find themselves the solution, so they will analyze themselves without any push. They do not like any pushing, but you need to attract their attention and to attract their, and to, to get their respect or trust in the first place. How do you think that the first so how many messages is needed usually to get to real talk, to get to online meeting or to real discussion, and what kind of messages or contacts work best? Getting some Loom videos, some thumbnails, or some other media, or maybe voice on LinkedIn. So what do you think? What has the best chance of getting real results in terms of organizing a meeting?
Yeah. So you mentioned something about trust. So I think one of the biggest things is we want to learn about our clients the most, and we want our clients to learn about their clients even better, so that when they do target, it's like if you want to eat food and if I go outside and I say I want to eat food, I'm not going to go to every single person and say I want to eat food. I'll go find a McDonald's. I'll go straight to McDonald's and ask them to give me food. And I know this is a very different way of thinking about it, but when it comes to actually reaching out to someone, that hyper targeting helps and it helps to build trust, and because we want the potential prospects for us to build that trust with them. How do we build that trust with them? By adding value to them, either solving a problem for them, figuring out, what problems they are going through. By adding value, in order for us to adding value to someone, we need to first work out what their problem is. And when we scrape and we figure out these intents, we automatically pick up this intent and these problems, which gears us better and our system to provide that value. So the main thing is, you could, if it's a nurture sequence, so you want to do initial outreach to someone, then you build a nurture sequence, so that, because not everyone is ready to buy straight away. It could be many things. Building a pipeline, building a good intervals between the messaging is important. Again, this is very particular to a specific business or an industry. We work with multiple different businesses, multiple different industries, so that in itself becomes an important thing. So for us to work with the business owner to understand their business, their industry better, so that we can then figure out what kind of messaging, what kind of value that they can provide, what kind of messaging sequences they need, what intervals they need to put in, and what kind of intent signals that they're looking for from their customers.
So you don't input any media, any visuals in the message?
So yeah, that is definitely the second part. So obviously better intention leads to better media as well. So you can, let's say you're creating a lead magnet, which is just a PDF, you can, through better variables and better intentions, you can personalize that PDF for this company, and that increases the visual or the visual perception.
So can I just use for physical products like door signs? Can I use PDF with an offer which is visually attractive in cold email?
Yes. So we're in the AI age, so we're getting very creative and we're finding new ways to actually do this outreach. And I think that's why AI is very interesting in this outreach position. So now we had this chat earlier. You spoke about, a client that you're working with for door signs, and they provide door signs to new hospitals, to new restaurants, just any new establishment and they would definitely need door signs for that. So the best way to make it more relevant for the prospect is, let's say you were able to visualize that door sign for them. So you take their initial signage from their branding and then combine that with the door sign using a door image, and then you have the door sign on top of it and you just mask that on top. I think that is a very good way of doing some marketing, and for the prospect to visualize how the door sign, your client's door sign will look on their doors. And then things like, you can use Nano Banana these days. So Nano Banana has become a lot more consistent with image generation and productizing that. So that is a very good example of how you could pick up intent, pick up these doors. Obviously, no one takes a long time to actually find out what a door looks like for every single company or what kind of restaurant it is.
Yeah. So Nano Banana is Gemini, or what? Who is the provider of Nano Banana?
Nano Banana, that's a new one. Nano Banana is I think it's a different. Is it a Gemini? Oh yeah, it's Google's Nano Banana model. So it's Gemini.
Yeah. So I have not yet. We tried once, but we didn't like it. Like a couple weeks ago. So maybe I was not able to give it prompts good enough, or we didn't use it for its intended use. But yeah, thank you for that. Is a very quite important advice about visualizing things, and maybe on our next meetings you can touch deeper into real tools that can be used to to personalize these outreach messages. What kind of business do you think have the most chance of getting results from cold outreach based on intents? What kind of clients on kind of niches do you think will have the benefit the most from this approach?
So I think a lot of this approach, this cold outreach approach, works for almost everyone, because every business has a business development pipeline. So every business needs to figure out what intention, who they're trying to target, what are their intention, why would they want to buy, why would they want to buy door signs, for example. So I think it goes for everyone, but it varies from different sectors. Like a service provider, someone in healthcare, this would work in a very different way. So you would want to be even more specific about the intention. If it's just, for example, phones, everyone needs a phone. So that's why you see big companies having their billboards on very spaces. But whereas smaller companies that are more manufacturing based, they're not going to go out and put out billboards. So because they're not targeting the masses, they're targeting a very specific niche. So they already understand that niche, but they just need to find more of the same customers and then build a better intention engine and reach out to them. Whereas with, for example, service providers, anyone who's providing doctors and nurses, here in the UK example, you can't just go to every hospital and say you can say that, but you'd probably want to go through the NHS in the UK to provide doctors and nurses to the hospitals that are publicly funded here in the UK. So that in itself, like the intention, the type of prospect that company is trying to target varies. And that's why I think we are working with small to medium-sized businesses that are looking for their prospects in very specific areas.
Yeah, so I think if we can make it some real-world example with you, maybe within the next months, to test the hypothesis of getting some niche and getting. So we have accounts, we have both Apify, paid Apify with credits, and also instantly. And all these models, Airtable as well, with AI credits. So maybe we can test something with you. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I'm building these systems right now. So I'm finding new and creative ways to actually build this out even further. I mean, AI allows for personalization even a lot more than just a generic. And then one main thing is that we also do A/B testing. So as we iterate and we find the right strategy, so it's all about strategy for outreach and intent signal. We do A/B testing, and I understand that you're also using Instantly, for example, for email marketing, and you do your own split testing within that. But imagine you can drive split testing using different intentions towards a similar ICP, which allows you to find the signal faster, because you're kind of replicating your campaigns and you're multiplying them to see the best performing campaigns.
Yeah, Shubs, that's very insightful and practical. And as far as I understand, we can go on going deeper and with different ICPs and going not only outbound, but also inbound marketing, and speak more about YouTube, about LinkedIn, about different strategies of getting people, getting the. I'm looking forward to this new episodes with you. And maybe you
Absolutely.
can add something. What new episode or ideas do you have in mind to make next?
I think it'd be worth just exploring some other AI systems so we can talk about the the inbound systems, any social media, content generation systems that allow, because end of the day, every business needs a combination of inbound and outbound together. It's never like one or the two. So you need the outbound to build the business, and then you need the inbound to actually build that discoverability. So that'd be a
Oh,
nice one.
that will be very practical, serious, Shubs. I'm sure about it. Thank you for this episode. I think we will round up and to talk to you next and the next episode.
Absolutely. Thank you so